Dear James, I pose a question seldom addressed in public discourse. Very fancy. As full self-driving technology becomes ubiquitous and thousands of robotaxis enter service, make that millions, by the way, how many individuals will forgo the burdens of owning a $40,000 vehicle that depreciates and spending over $2,000 a year on insurance, instead paying a modest dollar or 50 cents per mile for seamless on-demand transportation? What repercussions will the shift have on traditional automotive companies, many of which are already teetering on the brink of financial instability? Could this transition prove to be the decisive blow for conventional car manufacturers? It absolutely is. The death knell is ringing loud. And I'm just going to give you data points from just this week. Such a timely question. Stone trees? Yes, it is the death knell. Mary Barra sold half her bag, well, 40%, of General Motors because she's driving it off a cliff. And she knows it. She knows it. The cash for stock buybacks will run out soon. And she nailed the top, by the way. Great job on that one. It's basically a zombie company. Unless the government bails out GM in the next 5 years, it will not be around. Okay? It's dead. Dead. And we're seeing German car makers also suffer greatly. And the Ford CEO, Jim Farley, one thing I really admire about Jim Farley is he's brutally honest and very frank. He should have called him Frank Farley because he's so frank. It's turned into a stand-up comedy show today. But he said, Jim Farley, he said, the most humbling thing I've ever seen on China's car industry. He talks about their far superior technology, lower cost, and fantastic quality. He actually got a Xiaomi car, brought it back to Detroit, and he drives it. It's his driver. Okay? And he knows Ford have no way to catch up. No way in hell can they even get close to what China are doing. They got 200 suppliers that own how they make things. Okay? There's no way Ford will be a software-centric vehicle because 200 people make the different electronics for the car with different software and everything else. There's no way it can ever work. And they're not a technology company anyway. You got to be born software first and then wrap the car around that kernel. That's what's needed. Ford are not going to make it. And again, the Xiaomi car, I don't know, he basically talked about how Huawei and Xiaomi are doing probably what Apple did to smartphones, same type of thing. Nobody can match them in cost, quality, whatever else. Anyway, it's dead. But let's talk about FSD and the impact of this. And people say, oh, FSD is fake. I don't drive anymore. I stopped driving at the beginning of this year, pretty much, even before that. But if I'm on a long trip, I do not drive. Ever, especially if it's dark or it's snowing or raining, the car definitely does all the driving. And I do believe, yes, we're on the cusp of it. By the way, FSD 14 is coming out this month, probably in, what date do we have? 7th, next 3 weeks. And that's going to be better than your average human. And that's not saying much. A lot of drivers out there on the roads are embarrassingly bad, but it's coming and it's better than a human. And once it reaches 10x better, which could be by the end of the year or early next year, this will become the norm for vehicles. Seamless driving capability. And then we're shifting to exactly what you say, transportation as a service, taxis offering rides at pennies per mile, at as low as 25 cents or 50 cents, as you mentioned. And yeah, people will not be buying cars or paying the crazy insurance or the fuel or the maintenance or all the parking. It's just a nightmare. I mean, you want to park a car in San Francisco for like an hour and a half, it'll cost you $30. You can get to San Francisco in an Uber for less than that. Again, the cost of parking has actually killed parking. No, but it's promoted Uber. But I got a little twist on that too. Coming in a second. Also, this is going to destroy as people buy less cars because, instead of having a 3-car family, they will just deliver their kids to school or practice or whatever using autonomous vehicles, which are safer. There's no rape risk or anything else from the drivers. And that's why in San Francisco as well, you see the Waymos drive around with little kids in the back on their own because it's safe. You don't want to trust your kid to a strange man, but you will trust it to a robot. And that was a big surprise for me when I saw that for the first time about 8 months ago. Anyway, Auto manufacturers, their toast. Utilization also will go up huge. So this is a crazy part. The amount of time people spend driving the car is about 4% of the amount of time in any given day or year. That's going to change. That's going to go to 80% or 70% or 60% because you got to charge it, maybe clean it every now and again as we roll into this robo-taxi world. And then Tesla's manufacturing, Tesla's cars, even the Chinese. I mean, Tesla sold more cars in Korea than Kia and Hyundai on their own turf last month. Riddle me that. Okay, that's bonkers. Anyhow, a little bit to back up your story. Uber, $13, Robotaxi, $2.61. People say, how is that even possible? Well, to be honest, the price is actually going to lower because that is not near 25 cents a mile or 50 cents a mile. That's $1.60 a mile. But other things too. If you're looking at a Waymo here, it's even more expensive. And this is competition. Robotaxi, $3. Uber, $10. Waymo, $22. Lyft, $11. Boom. That's all you wrote. And they're just ramping up. Okay. And by the end of the year, the safety drivers that monitor things to make sure it's safe. Because imagine if a Tesla Robotaxi crashed. MSM, those people that love to lie, would have a field day. Waymo Robotaxis crash every day of the week in San Francisco, but they're never mentioned in the media. If Tesla was to have one accident, they would crucify Elon Musk. That's what they're waiting to do. And that's why they got these safety drivers. And that's why they're taking extraordinary measures to be safe.